And we are on air.
Hi guys, my name is Brianna and today we're going to be having a chat about Love, Victor. So let's get right into the video. Okay, first of all, just don't mind the wood from the windows. My windows are still not done yet, but eventually they will be. So first of all, I want to apologize for me taking so long to come out with this video. Number one, I do not have Hulu, so I didn't get to watch Love, Victor until very recently. I went over to my grandma's house and I found out that she has Hulu, so I watched it there with her and I finally got to watch it and I really wanted to talk about it, so here we are. But that's why I didn't watch it when it first came out and make this video when it first came out. That being said, I want to start off right away by saying I am beyond grateful to have a show with LGBTQ plus representation in it, period, point blank. We need more of that. That's awesome. That being said, I have a lot of negative feelings about how it was portrayed. And I am going to critique this pretty harshly, and I have a lot to say. But I do want to make it clear that overall, I did think it was a good show. I did enjoy watching it a lot, and I think it is very important. I just think that whether you're in the LGBTQ plus community or you're not in the LGBTQ plus community and you're watching this, you realize that it's not 100% accurate to how things are in real life. And I'll get into the details of what I mean by that as I go through this video. Let's start with some of the there are positive things about it. Don't get me twisted. I will talk about some of the things I liked about the show as well. But let's go into some of the negative things. Also, there will be spoilers. Here's your warning. If you haven't seen it, go watch it first. Also, if you did not know, Love, Victor is a show spin-off of the movie Love, Simon. I loved Love, Simon. I thought it was a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It had great LGBTQ plus representation. I thought it showed it pretty effectively and showed the struggles and whatnot, and I didn't really have any issues with it. So there's that. Now they have this spin-off of it. So the premise of the show is the school that Simon went to, Creekwood, this new boy character going to that school, and he hears about the legend of Simon, reaches out to him, and he is in communication with him throughout the series, and Simon is sort of helping him through this. I was so excited for the show. I thought it was really, really great and a good idea and a way to expand and show more of what there is to it. Because obviously, Love, Simon is great, but it's not the only story. It's not the only thing that happens. LGBTQ plus people have different situations happening to them, and it's great to show those different situations, and I thought that this was going to be a great way to do that. Here is my first big complaint. I know a lot of people are going to assume that this is my complaint just because I am bisexual and I would like bisexual representation, but it's more so an issue for me because of how it was portrayed. Because I didn't have an issue with Love, Simon. The editing of the trailers and the whole show in the beginning portrays it as if Victor is going to be a bisexual character, and then he's not. That was severely disappointing to me. Then to make it personal, especially as myself being a bisexual person, seeing this and thinking, oh my gosh, finally bisexual representation, and then that's not what it is, was very, very disappointing. And like I said, if it was clearly about a gay character all along, I wouldn't have an issue with it because I think that's great. We need representation for all sexualities. But the thing is, that's not how it was portrayed. Gay people do often end up in straight relationships before they come to terms with their sexuality. However, they literally have a scene where Victor explicitly says that he likes kissing this girl and he likes being with her, and like he talks about how her lips feel so good and this and that. Then they want to turn around and say he's gay. And I do know that when you are young and you're experimenting and it's just kissing, you may think it feels great and this and that, and then you find out that's not the orientation that you're attracted to. But to put it in a show and so blatantly make it seem as though the character is going to be bisexual is confusing. Especially because they have another scene where Victor literally looks up different sexualities, and the screen of his computer shows pansexual, bisexual, and something else. I can't recall off the top of my head. And it's like a tease. It's like a tease to everyone who wants that representation, because he's literally questioning if he's bisexual or not. He's showing that he thinks he might be bisexual. It's not like he just was with a girl and then he realized he was gay. He literally thought he was bisexual or pansexual or something along those lines. Some form of queer that was not just gay. The character, they actively showed the character questioning that. And to show that without follow through, to me, was just so aggravating and disappointing. And it was just like, why? What was the purpose of dangling that in front of the audience to just be like, no, we're just gonna go with the gay thing? And there's nothing wrong with the gay thing. You want to show that, portray that, that's amazing. We need more gay representation out there, we do. But why dangle these other identities in front of us, which are, like, you think gay people don't get enough representation, but what about all these other identities that are shown even less than that? So it's like, what was the point of dangling it in front of the faces of all these people in these communities to just be like, no, 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 no. Because so much of the LGBTQ plus representation that is out there is just gay. And there's nothing wrong with your representation. We need more of it. There's a slim amount out there. And yeah, it's increasing. But most of it is still just gay. So the fact that they were just like, oh yeah, look, we're literally gonna show the names of these identities on the screen, but then just like brush over them, was like, what? That was my first issue right off the bat when he was starting to say he was gay. I was like, okay. Next issue, the cheating. Every time that I have personally seen gay representation where the gay character is in a straight relationship, there's always cheating involved. And that's not okay, because it just shows this idea that gay people are unfaithful. And that's ridiculous. Anyone can be unfaithful. Anyone can be faithful. So why is it such a stereotype that when someone is figuring themselves out, they're gonna cheat? What's even more infuriating is that these characters who are doing the cheating almost always see nothing wrong with their actions. So Victor had the classic stereotype of kissing a guy and then saying, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done that, whatever. That was bad enough. But to then, at the end in the last episode, find out he was going to be with this boy, instead of going straight to the girlfriend, telling her the truth, and then going to the boy. Starts making out with him right there. And the most infuriating thing is that the parents of Victor, they were dealing with infidelity. And the sister found out what Victor did. She didn't know that he was gay. She just knew that he kissed someone who wasn't his girlfriend. And the sister confronts him, you're just like mom and this and that. And he goes, no, it's not like that, you don't understand. Being gay is not an excuse to cheat. It is exactly like that. You did cheat. That is not acceptable, and the majority of people in the LGBTQ plus community, or I would hope just people in general, would never do that. There are bad people out there. There are bad people in every community, people who will cheat, people who will lie, people who will be unfaithful. But gay people as a whole do not do that. Being gay does not give you an excuse to cheat. So why is that a stereotype? And why did they choose to repeat that stereotype in this series? I thought, based off of Love, Simon, that this was again going to be great queer representation, but they just again want to push stereotypes. I was livid in the first scene where he kissed him, in the last episode when they full on made out, and when he found no flaws in his actions, that the writers of this show were actively thinking that was okay to put out there. And the thing that's getting to me the most is that I'm not seeing anyone talking about this. I see nothing but praise out there right now for this show. And don't get me wrong, it is a good show. I liked it. I did like it. I will talk about some good things next. But the fact that no one's talking about the fact that they're influencing stereotypes, and not just stereotypes in how, oh, gays are flamboyant or whatever. They're influencing a severely negative stereotype that all gay people are unfaithful. That's unacceptable. Very unacceptable. And it blows my mind that no one's talking about that. Because I've seen a lot out there about this show right now, and nothing about the cheating. If people spoke up when things like this happened, then shows would stop influencing these stereotypes. Because I was sitting here trying to think of shows that have gay characters. And here's another example I'll give you. I love Atypical. It's a great show. So many good things about it. LGBTQ plus representation? Yes. Great, but there's cheating in there too. In a straight relationship, cheats with girl, realizes sexuality. That's how it goes in so much media. And it's not cool. It's not cool. Oh boy, it's not cool. I don't know. I'm just really upset about that. That one aspect of the show gets to me so much that it just upsets me a lot. But I want to move on to some more positive things, so I'm gonna move on. The highlight of the show, I would say for me, is going to be one of two things. One, when Victor stood up against his grandfather when his guests at his party were gay and they kissed. Grandfather saw and got mad and told him that can't happen here, blah blah blah, and he stood up for them. That was great. That was really heartfelt. It almost made me cry, and I loved that a lot. It was really important, and it showed how scary it can be to stand up to your family, but how often important it could be. Because he was hurting his friends by forcing them to hide their relationship. And it was so important to have them be accepted in his home, his family. They're his friends, they should be accepted. But it also showed how scary it can be with your family and dealing with how they're going to react to the situation and whatnot. But I also want you all out there to know that it doesn't always work out how it did in that show. It worked out very positively where his dad was proud of him for standing up for his grandfather and all that. But that's not how it always works, so please be safe. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations if it's not safe for you to confront your family like that. Second thing that is top tier for me, a great thing about the show, is when Victor told his friend. This was... I cried. He tells him, turn around, he's scared, he doesn't know how he's gonna tell him, and he gets really scared, and then he tells him, and his friend's just okay, Ken, I turn around now? And, he looks at him, and he's I don't know the right thing to say, but, blah, blah, you're my friend, doesn't change anything, and, whatever. And basically super nonchalant, was just okay, cool. When are you gonna tell your girlfriend? And I loved that. It was the sexuality thing didn't bother him, it was the lying to the girlfriend that bothered him, and he was okay. Tell your girlfriend. And they hugged and it was really cute. And I loved how the next day when the girlfriend still hadn't found out, the friend was okay, Victor, you didn't tell her. Why didn't you tell her? You gotta tell her. Peak character. That warmed my heart so much because he was trying to do the right thing. He was the only character involved in that situation that was trying to do the right thing. Victor was lying to the girlfriend, cheating, whatever, and his friend is there dude, you gotta tell her. Awesome. I loved that. And it shows that no matter how scared you are, things can work out well. Not everyone is going to have major reactions to your sexuality. His friend was so nonchalant. It was just amazing. Another thing that I really loved was Benji and his boyfriend. And they really showed how gay people can be very different. So the boyfriend was screw all this heterosexual stuff, I'm not conforming, I'm a nonconformist, I'm not gonna do this, blah 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 blah. And Benji was all no, I want to be romantic and blah blah blah, and very heartfelt and mushy gushy and loving. And I like how they showed how to be gay, you don't have to stray from those norms. You also can stray from those norms. There's no right or wrong way to be gay. I liked that a lot. Let's see what else. I also really liked how, real life for a second. Love Simon. We have Simon and we have Bram. The person who plays the character of Simon in real life is not LGBTQ+. Person who plays Bram is. In Love Victor, they decided to go with, I don't know for what reasons, I'm hoping these are the reasons, but who knows. They went with Bram being more in the series than Simon. That I liked a lot because it allowed an actual LGBTQ person to play an LGBTQ plus character and be the main one over someone else playing. Because they very easily could have just had Simon and Bram not even be in it at all. So I liked that out of the two, the main one in it was Bram, because the person who plays the character is LGBTQ+, and I think it's really important to have LGBTQ+ people play LGBTQ+ characters. Another thing I liked about that is that Bram brought Victor to all these different things to show him that there's not just one way to be gay. He brought him to play basketball, and then at the end told him, well, all of these people were gay. It's a gay-only league. And it, like, blew Victor's mind. He was like, all these people are gay, but they don't look gay. And, like, that was really important. But then he also brought him to a gay bar and, like, showed him people, like, acting flamboyant and having fun. And, like, it showed so many ways of how to be gay and how you don't have to be a certain way to be gay. You can be anyone and be gay. And I thought that was really great to, like, show and represent in the media. However, one thing about the Simon Bram situation that I didn't like was that Simon told all his roommates about Victor's story. Now, I wouldn't have an issue with that if he had just told Victor, hey, I don't know how to help you on my own, so I'm going to tell these people and they're going to help me help you. But he didn't do that. And the reason I have an issue with that is because in the movie Love, Simon, Simon literally got outed, and it upset him, and it was terrifying, and all that. So you would think that that character of all people would understand that you can't just out people. It's their choice on when to and how to, no matter if you know for a fact the person's going to be accepting or not. So if he wanted to share Victor's story with anyone, he should have had Victor's consent. And the fact that Victor didn't even know that they knew, and they all were lying to him when he did come to New York to see them, I was just like, what writer thought that that was going to be the right thing to do? Did no one think, based on Simon's character arc, maybe his character wouldn't do that, and that doesn't actually make sense or add up, because maybe his character would be more sensitive to that. So maybe we should keep the storyline of his character true to how it should actually be logically. Because I was just there like, what? But I am happy that they acknowledged it, and that Victor got upset, and they did show that it was wrong, and that you shouldn't just out people to anyone. Accepting people or not accepting people, it's the person's choice whether they want to come out or not. Something else I liked that there was a lot of other storylines within it. It wasn't all about Victor and his finding his sexuality and coming out. That was the main plot, but there was a lot of other plots weaved within that, and I think that's really important to show that there's more to someone and their life and their friends' lives and their families' lives than just them being gay. They showed a lot of other really important topics, and I thought it was really great. I won't go into each individual storyline in detail because I feel like this video is already going to be so long, and I've spoken about a lot of very important things in this. But just like a list of things. Let's see. They talked about self-esteem and how your home life can affect your self-esteem. They talked about divorce and how that can affect your family and the kids and all that. They talked about the whole premise, the beginning of it, is about starting over, moving, uprooting your whole life, and like being pushed into a new one with no say, and how that affects the kids and their lives and what's going to happen. They talk about relationships and how social view of those relationships impacts whether you feel comfortable or not to be open in those relationships, and how it's not just LGBTQ+, it's any two people. If they don't seem socially fit to go together, they don't feel comfortable getting together. That was also very important. They talked about bullying. They talked about sex within even straight relationships and how that impacts people. So it wasn't ever segregated. They didn't just talk about, well, this is what this situation is like for straight people, and this is what the situation is like for gay people. They just talked about sex and how it was pressure for Victor, who is an LGBTQ character, but also the girlfriend and her history with sex with guys, and they didn't segregate it as this is straight and this is gay. They just spoke about it. I thought that was great. My camera stopped recording, so I hope I hadn't missed too much. What else they talked about? Having single parents, how it feels when that single parent remarries or has new kids, and how that affects the child. They talked about social status and economic status and how that affects people and how they interact with each other. There was a lot of really big topics and things like that other than LGBTQ+, weaved within within that, and I think that's really great. I do think that right now, with the lack of representation in media, we need a lot of shows and movies coming out with the main push being LGBTQ+, but I would love to get to a point where that doesn't have to be the main storyline, and it's just commonplace within movies and TV shows. You know, within most movies and TV shows out there, unless it is specifically a romance, a rom-com, or something along those lines. The main premise of the story isn't a relationship, but relationships are there. They're in the sidelines. They're part of the show. I would love to get to that point with LGBTQ+ characters. That would be amazing. But at the moment, that's not what there is. We need to push for this representation, so having it be the main storyline is important right now, but I love that it's not the only thing. It's being treated in the same way that any situation would be treated, as still being a main character. Like, most coming-of-age movies that are based on a relationship have the same thing. The main thing is about the guy and the girl, but there's a lot of other things also going on in that. I love that they're able to also do that with LGBTQ+ content, because there are a lot of LGBTQ+ content out there that it's just gay and nothing else, and that's it. This is a gay movie for the gays. This is not just for the gays or the LGBTQ+ community. Anyone can watch this because there's so much to it, and it also can give you a great idea on how difficult it is being in the LGBTQ+ community and growing up and coming out and figuring out how to do it and what to do and what if you're right, what if you're wrong, and the scariness of it all. But this show definitely had a lot of really good things in it and a lot of really negative things in it, so I'm not really sure where to place it, where it's good or bad. I did like it, I did enjoy watching it, but I'm not sure. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I'm sure I missed so many things, both positive and negative. So if you watch the show, please continue the conversation in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the negative things I said about the show. Do you agree? Am I being dramatic? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Is representation just enough, or does it have to be accurate representation? Let me know your opinion. I think it has to be accurate representation, or else it's just harmful. That's my opinion. Let me know yours. I am not saying my opinion is right. I'm just stating my opinions, and I never mean any hate by my opinions. That being said, it was a good show. The acting was amazing, and I think it is great to have representation out there. So yeah, I don't know what else would be important to talk about off the top of my head, so we will continue the conversation in the comments down below. But for now, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.